All right, let's jump right in. The whole conversation around AI is changing, like right now. We are moving past that initial wave of pure hype and into a brand new era, one that's all about real-world value, mind-bending research, and, you guessed it, the huge questions of responsibility that come with it. So today, we're going to break down exactly what this massive shift means.
You know, this quote from Fortune just hits the nail on the head. For what feels like forever, the AI conversation was just pure potential, pure hype. But now, you're seeing at places like Davos, the question has totally flipped. It's no longer a dreamy, what if? It's a very practical, very demanding, okay, but what's the return on my investment?
And that brings us to the first big theme today. We are officially in the ROI era of AI. And trust me, this isn't some small adjustment. This is a fundamental change in how the entire industry is thinking and operating.
So let's break that down. The hype era? That was all about the big sci-fi dream of artificial general intelligence, or AGI, right? Just this idea of limitless potential and the sheer novelty of it all. But now, we're in the ROI era, and businesses are basically asking for the receipts. They want to know, how is this actually going to boost our productivity? What is the real impact on our bottom line? And maybe most importantly, how do we plug this into the systems we already have? The novelty's kind of worn off, and now the demand for real, measurable value is front and center.
Okay, so what does this new focus on ROI actually look like in the real world? Let's take a look at some of the incredible tools that are launching right now and actually delivering on that promise of tangible value.
So check this out. There's a company called Higgsfield, and they're using these super powerful OpenAI models to completely change how video gets made. You literally just type in a simple idea, the AI does its thing, and boom, out comes a high-quality cinematic video that's ready to go on social media. I mean, this is the ROI era in a nutshell, a practical tool that solves a real problem for creators and businesses alike.
And it's not just video, innovation is just exploding all over the place. You're seeing tools like StoryChief, AI Canvas for marketers. There's this thing that's basically like Clippy, but on steroids for your own personal productivity, and it uses local large language models, so it runs right on your own computer. And then for the developers out there, Crest Data has a new API that helps make AI agents way faster and more accurate. These are real products hitting the market today, all built for immediate impact.
But of course, all these amazing products don't just appear out of thin air. They're all built on a foundation of some seriously deep research. So let's peel back the curtain a bit. What's actually happening in the labs that's going to power the next wave of these tools?
That's really the big question, isn't it? This is what's driving scientists and engineers all over the world. It's not just about making the current stuff a little bit better. It's about unlocking entirely new abilities we haven't even thought of yet.
And get this, researchers at Stanford are now using AI to actually decode how our brain activity unfolds over time. I mean, this sounds like something straight out of a movie, but it's a real breakthrough that could completely change neuroscience and how we understand our own minds. Just incredible.
And then, back here in the physical world, you have researchers working on video generation for what they call the embodied world. So what does that mean? Well, they're basically creating better, more realistic data to train robots. This helps them see, think, and act way more effectively in our messy, unpredictable environments.
Okay, but with all this incredible power and innovation, you know what's coming next, right? A whole new set of challenges. And this is a conversation we absolutely have to have. It's the governance gauntlet.
You know the saying, when you create tools that are this powerful, you're also opening the door for them to be misused. That same awesome generative AI that creates beautiful videos can of course be used for things that are, well, not so noble.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the pattern you start to see. For every new threat, a defense starts to pop up. You see Elon Musk's Grok AI getting heat for its ability to generate deepfakes, and that immediately leads to calls for new policies and detection tools. At the same time, you see the risk of audio impersonation being used for fraud, and the research community fires back with things like the We Defense Toolkit, which is designed specifically to sniff out fake audio. It's this constant cat-and-mouse game. So this all leads to the million-dollar question. How do we find the right balance here? How do we keep this incredible, explosive innovation moving forward while building in the guardrails we absolutely need for accountability?
Because the economic momentum is just undeniable. A recent survey showed that the financial services industry alone is planning to double its investment in AI. The money is pouring in, the belief is there, and that is pushing innovation forward at a wild pace.
And then you see the other side of that coin. Just as the investment is doubling, you have major players like OpenAI coming out and formalizing policies to protect whistleblowers and encourage ethical debates inside the company.
This shows this growing understanding that accountability can't just be an afterthought. It has to be built right into the culture.
So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. As we stand here, right at this crossroads, what's going to define AI's next chapter? Is it going to be the relentless, blistering pace of innovation, or is it going to be the steady, guiding hand of regulation and responsibility? You know, the answer is probably both. And finding that perfect balance, well, that is the great challenge of our time.